slow living can just be simply following the rhythm of the day, the rhythm of the season, going with the flow. Hi friends, welcome to another video from Art of Wellbeing. I'm Agnes de Bezenac from France, and I'm so happy to share with you another one of my journals. So this one, I called it Crafting My 12 Months of Self-Care. This journal is kind of like my process through the first few years of perimenopause. And I really wanted something that I could refer back to during this time and season and stage of my life. Something that I could remind myself of during the most difficult times, during the uncomfortable moments, the painful moments, the discomforts, the mood changes, the emotions, all the adjustments of this time. So if it's something that you've gone through or that you're going through, then you might also be able to relate and understand. I wanted kind of like a little toolkit to help me on this journey. So I took time to journal, to question myself, to kind of put into one place, which is in a journal. You know how much I love to journal. Put in one place all those most important things that I've learned and that I'm still experiencing and still growing in during this stage of perimenopause. So I've been in this for 3 years now, and I know there's still many changes ahead and many adjustments, many transitions to go through. It's a process. It's learning patience. It's learning to be compassionate with myself, but it's also learning to challenge myself in different ways. This is what I love about putting it all into a little book, a little journal. It's not only wonderful for me to go back to later, but it can be something that I share with my daughter or something that maybe you're interested in, and that's why I'm putting it out there in case it can be helpful and be an inspiration, be an encouragement, even through those really low moments as we face these challenges in perimenopause. So I thought I'd just give you a little tour of this journal and see what happens. Of course, you take what you want from this. This is not telling you what to do, how to do it, because each of our experiences, situations, moods, everything is totally different and unique to each one of us. I know that I needed to personalize it to me. I'm very thankful that there's a lot more information about this topic out there, and it's starting a chain reaction of people speaking up about it, and which is so helpful, so needed and necessary. It's so wonderful to be able to connect with others who are also going through it, and also those who are professionals in that area and who know and who've studied and who've done the research, so that I can find things that are helpful for me in my situation. So anyway, I've tried to condense everything that I've learned in the past few years as I'm going through this stage into 12 points, which is how I kind of went through it, not putting too much pressure on myself, but just focusing on one aspect of perimenopause per month. I think that's what helped me to get to the point where I am today. It wasn't through pushing harder with more to-dos. It was actually really a discovery journey, realizing what I needed in the moment. In that month, learning to prioritize one thing and simplifying. So you'll see some of these topics in here. And without more rattling on, I will just dive right in. So for each spread, I just went through a topic related to my self-care routines during this season of my life. And I added little snippets, little phrases, little words, just to remind me of what I'm learning, what I'm going through, and the things that have helped me the most during this time. So So the first one is slow living. I really needed to make a point to just start slowing down a little bit more, not try to do everything, not try to multitask. I love to remind myself, even if it's just a little quote which says it all for me. Slow living is about intention, spending more time on things that are important and less on things that aren't. That's what I love about this book. As I'll go through it, you'll see that it's just little phrases, and then there's spaces, empty spaces, just for me to kind of reflect. And sometimes it helps to have spaces in our lives, not just in our days or in our schedules, but even on our papers, in my journals. I do leave little blanks and spaces because maybe one day I want to write something that comes to mind at the moment, at the time. And that just gives me a chance to personalize it for that season, that situation, that happening in my life. So this one, I did it actually a couple years ago. This was the 2 or 3 years ago. If you look in my other video here, I mention about my yearbooks, and you'll notice that one year was all on self-care. And this is also when I started my journey through perimenopause, which has been filled with a lot of ups and downs. I'm sure any of you who are going through it understand. And if not, then maybe you will want to understand about it as you go through it. This was key for me to just pinpoint areas in my life that needed changing and that needed adjusting, altering. It allows me to just sit still sometimes and see what adjustments or ways I can be a little bit more flexible and stretch a little, even if it's uncomfortable. Anyways, to get started, so I've made little flaps because I love to add extra little notes here and around about. I can even use this as a pocket. So some of the things related to slow living for me at that time, and that still speak to me now. Appreciate what I have. Have a cup of tea. So I really enjoy a cup of tea, and I've even created whole little files, whole little cards, stack of cards, sets of cards related to enjoying a cup of tea, because to me that's taking the time to slow down. Now I can't even remember what it felt like not to just be still with enjoying a cup of tea or a cup of something. Time to relax. So I cut out some magazines and pictures that spoke to me related to that topic. I even put her feet up. I rarely do that, but when I do, it just feels so good. So it reminded me, oh, I could do that a little bit more often. A balanced life. Time for self-care. One thing focus. That was a big one for me. Just focus on one thing, not try to multitask. While I eat breakfast, and that's all I do. That way I have the chance to taste each flavor and feel the crunchiness and smell the aromas of cinnamon, of almonds and hazelnuts. And I can't very well do that when I'm trying to multitask at the same time. And when I brush my teeth, instead of saving a few minutes there, I can do something else at the same time. Now I just brush my teeth. When I cook, I just cook. When I try to multitask, I either end up burning something or something overflows and I have a bigger mess to clean up. When I'm with my family, I spend time with my family, and that's all I do. So slow living is also just focusing on one thing at a time and giving it my all, giving that my best. That's the way to savor and enjoy each moment that I have. Be present in the moment. So many ways that I'm learning to be present in the moment. Still now, still today, I find new ideas, new ways that work for me, that fit into my days. Starting the practice of journaling was not easy because it went against my mindset, against what I'd been used to doing for so long, which was writing for work, writing to accomplish something, writing to put something on the paper, rather than writing for the pleasure of it, writing to release emotions, writing to express things, writing to question myself, writing to get curious. So that really was helpful in my journey of slowing down. Especially as a writer, as an author, it's difficult to balance out the times to write with work and when I need an intentional reboot moment. So I found that it's only through slowing down that I'm able to address those bigger things, more important things, things to question myself, how I'm doing, how am I feeling? Is this suitable for me? Is this project or activity going to bring me pleasure and meaning? Simple pleasures. Here I could list some simple pleasures. During these years of perimenopause is also when I started the practice of crafting, browsing magazines, cutting out pictures, ripping papers, gluing them together in a beautiful way. I don't think I would have been able to do this without slowing down, taking time, without feeling guilty. I really had to slow down before I could enjoy this passion. But I left it blank for now because it always makes me reflect on it. When I see a little blank, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just pause and think about what are some simple pleasures for me right now. So let me think. Simple pleasures is, yes, enjoying a cup of tea with my tea time treasures is what I call them. I have made little cards with quotes or phrases or questions related to a certain topic for each month, and I so enjoy these. It just makes me focus on one thing, and I like that. I like, in a way, being organized and disciplined rather than my mind going in all directions, all different topics and things that I want to grow in. I kind of just focus. This month is for this, and this month is related to changes and making adjustments, making some small improvements in my life, and see how I can be a little bit more flexible, which I've called it flexibility. So very soon I'll be posting it in case you're interested, and if you want it, you can just sign up for my newsletter, which is where I'll post it. You can be notified there. More meaning. So I think slow living, slowing down, I really find more meaning, more purpose in my life, or I am able to focus on the things that really are important to me. It's hard to make this practice. I know we all have filled up schedules, filled up to the brim. How are we going to make this time for doing nothing, for slowing down, when we already don't have enough time to do what's on our to-do lists? Something that really helped me was using up the transitional moments, the little in-betweens, in between projects, in between the next activity, first thing in the morning, before I wake up, as I take my coffee break, before the next project, after I clean the kitchen, while waiting for my printer to print something, or while waiting for the scanner to scan a page. Instead of trying to use up those tiny little extra seconds for more work, I just decided I'm going to use those moments to be still, to be quiet, to listen, to not do anything at all. And it's in those moments, and it's in slowing down, that the best ideas come. The inspiration, the joy, the passion. It's not anymore feeling guilty of doing nothing or doing something useless. Doing something useless is actually useful. When I don't plan my day one thing after another, there's actually little spaces in between for surprise, for awe and wonder. Sit still and pause. Slow living for me has also been just taking some breaks throughout my day, from work, even from house chores. That's when I find it so pleasant to just get away. Sometimes that's what it takes for me to take a break, is to get out of the house, because otherwise I keep thinking about work, I keep thinking about what needs to be done. I was reading something the other day related to that, and it was using
punctuation marks. It said something to the effect of, if you want to end your day with an exclamation mark, take those pauses, use the commas, make a time in your day when there's a full stop. So I kind of related it to my schedule. Was positively satisfied because I do take those pauses in between, those little transition moments, pauses, commas in between the day. And then there is a cutoff time, which is my full stop, which is usually between 4 or 5, because that's when I spend time with my daughter and we do a creative project together, or we have a special snack, or we do some baking. And I treasure that time so much. But it does kind of mean that, oh, okay, that's time to stop. And then at the end of the evening, I feel like, hey, I can end with an exclamation mark. I did what was most important. I spent time with family. I did get some things done. Sometimes it feels like I didn't get much done, but I won't focus on those times. I'm gentle with myself these days because I know that I cannot handle as much as I used to.
A few of my slowing down practices might look like sitting down with a book, letting my cat sit on my lap so that I have to stay put long enough, even taking extra few minutes to pet my cat, cuddle my cat. Every morning she wants her cuddle. And it just reminds me this is my time to slow down, sitting with my cup of coffee and daydreaming, just allowing for some loafing in my mind without always needing to plan and organize and get something done, or working towards a specific accomplishment or goal. The only goal here was learning to slow down and be still. And this became a gift for this season of perimenopause. I intentionally decided to take the stairs instead of the elevator. It meant going a little slower, but going at my own pace. Reading books on paper rather than on my phone again, with more distractions. Being willing to wait in line at a shop rather than quick online purchases and deliveries. Walking to the store instead of driving the car. All these little exercises in slowing down leave space for a tranquil mind.
Slow down and enjoy life. It's not only the scenery you miss by going too fast, you also miss the sense of where you are going and why. I love that reminder because I really feel that, yes, slowing down helps me to find more meaning and to find my why, the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. Enjoy the process, yes.
Something that I just read this morning, something to the effect of, each day that I stay in my comfort zone, I'm becoming one day weaker. And that really encouraged me, related to this stage in my life, because I think it's the stage where I'm the most curious to try new things, to explore, to question. And it's almost like a excavation moment related to my needs and how I can nurture my body, how I can feed my body and my soul in the most wonderful way. That's what gets me excited about this journey of perimenopause. It's not focusing on the difficulties and the challenges, which there are many, all the symptoms that, if you name a symptom, I've probably had it or continue to have to deal with it and learn how to handle it in a gentle way. I know it's very frustrating. It can be really hard, and there are days where I just tear up and I break out in tears for no reason. There are days I'm totally unmotivated to do anything. But I take advantage of the days where I have a little bit of energy, I have a little spark, I have a little moment of peace and calm, and those days are becoming brighter. I think what keep me going, even though it's one day positive, maybe 2-3 days in a difficult state. But I learned to focus on those instead of focusing on my fears and worries and concerns about how my body's changing, how my health is deteriorating, or it seems that way, how my beauty is fading. Now I'm more questioning myself. What can I do to lovingly, gently care for myself rather than keep up with looks, keep up with trends, keep fit and thin? That's not my priority anymore. I think I've switched, and that's the beautiful thing about questioning ourselves in this stage of life. Slowing down was a skill I had to learn, because with today's constant on-the-go bombardment of more apps, more messages, more and quicker, faster ways of doing things, quick fixes, everything turned on, it's really hard to find the time to shut down, turn off,